this is the first one in this class, but we've been talking a lot about putting together a class that gets more hands-on, particularly with the automations in the StreetText platform and working with your StreetText automations, so you can get a better grasp as to what you can do in there and the functionality of it, and also highlight some people that are doing it well and what they're doing in there to give you some ideas on how to work that best. That being said, there's also the opportunity to do, the other end of things. I'm just letting people in the meeting here, to do other ends of things like in your other CRM. So, some of people are building stuff out in their CRMs, and some of it can apply to that too, where you can integrate it and pull it out in the CRM. I was going to do a poll, but I didn't set it up. But if you have your camera on, or just by a show of using the reaction thing there, how many people are using just StreetText as their automations? Like they're doing just StreetText automations? Nobody? Okay, Christina, how many people are doing a combination of StreetText and they have a CRM they're using? Tony? Teresa, what are you doing? Are you doing both or one?
I guess I'm just using StreetText. I use BombBomb as well.
Okay, yeah. So BombBomb is like a service. It's kind of like a CRM, but not so much. And is there anybody who's taking things completely out of StreetText and putting them into another CRM completely? No, feel free. Speak now or forever hold your peace. You can also put it in the chats there. At the end of the day, hello, Angela, I just got your message. I got to look at your ad. Send me a message to remind me to look at your ad today. But at the end of the day, the CRM is the best CRM is the one that you're going to use. So I often say to people, like, if you're paying for a CRM service and you have some functionality in there, build everything else into that other CRM. But if you're not that proficient in it and you just want to keep everything simple in one place, then there's so much opportunity within StreetText, or to use a combination of both. Why do you want to do like automations? Why are automations so important? The average person that you talk to, I mean, statistics are they need 8 to 12 touches just to get a response from them. So, I mean, I was in somebody else's account the other day. He's been with us for a while and he's supposed to be here. And I was looking around at some things in his account. And what I was noticing was that like even his buyer ad that he set up, he hadn't added anything to the automation. So I said to him, it's one email that goes out to the person, and then it's completely reliant on you in your busy day to be calling them and texting them and trying to keep up with them, because you have nothing else built in those automations. Like there's no more opportunity to keep hitting them. At the end of the day, you want your automations to like just constantly remind people of you, but they remind people of you if you do really well on those first automations. So I think some of the most important automations you have are those first ones, because they're the ones that make that initial like impression. And if you can personalize some of your follow-up at the beginning, then your automations that come after that, they have an awareness of you. And it's just a lot of times what happens is we don't even recognize the power of our automations. I was in fitness for a very long time as a fitness leader, teaching conferences all across North America, teaching other people how to lead. And I built a lot of online programs that people would sign up for on my website. To this day, there is still one running on my website that I haven't touched. And every once in a while, I'll get some person that messages me from out of nowhere that I have no idea that I met somewhere. And they say, Ira, that 15-minute program like changed my life. Like I built that habit in and now my kids are doing it. And I just want to say thank you for it. Like I built that automation so long ago, I have not even touched it in ages. It's just sitting there all built out, but people are benefiting from it. That's the power of automation, is duplicating yourself so that when you're busy doing the other things, you're actually following up with people. You're actually reaching out to people. You're just not always having to rely on doing it actively. Tony, did you have a question? I saw you.
Yes, and I'll tell you why. Because I'm looking at the automations that StreetText has, okay? I understand the first one when they come in and they say, I put a BombBomb video on top to tell them that they're going to get a CMA and so on. but then I see all the automations going underneath and so on. Now, are they all for sellers or are there some for buyers? I see. Now, that's the first thing that's confusing me. The number two thing that's confusing me is if I'm a seller out there somehow, and all of a sudden I get these automations about Julie being my assistant, whatever, whatever, whatever. After a while, they say, well, I'm fed up with this, you know? And this is my thing. And what I'm trying to say, like, what can we do to change that? I don't know if anybody else is having the same problem here.
Oh, for sure. I'm glad you're here. That's why you're all here, because we're going to jump into that. So I'm going to share my screen, and this is where you can take complete ownership over that once you understand it. So you're going to see it. I'm going to help you understand it. So you can go in, and I'm going to use an account here so that I've gotten permission to use it to kind of show you what you could do with it. Sarah knows this account well. So I'm going to share my screen here. Oh, just I got to go to the right screen first. 1 second. I don't have it open. It is this one. Come back to Zoom. Share this one. Okay, so let me just do two things to help you explain the way the automations are set up. So Tony's question is awesome when it comes to, like, I don't understand when the buyer drip's going out and when the seller drip's going out. So if you go over to the funnel section of your page, and this is something that I just was talking to Isaac from our dev team on, they're working their butts on to be able to make, like, we have some pretty awesome updates coming to this section of the account. So these things that I'm telling you now, like, hopefully in a short time from now, these aren't going to apply anymore. So, but for now, do you see how this one says lead ad in brackets? That one says lead ad in brackets, lead ad in brackets. When it's a lead ad, it's a completely different ad that pops the form right up on Facebook. They automatically get their information in. When they put their information in, they get put on a drip. Now, I want you to just take note. When you run a lead ad, every single time you run a lead ad, it generates a brand new automation. So, and it's because it's really complicated for our dev team, which they're on it, they're fixing it, they're figuring it out. But at this point, it's been really complicated for them to make one automation. So whenever you launch a brand new lead ad, you launch a brand new automation connected to that lead ad. So you have to edit each of those. So if you launch 3 buyer ads, it produces an automation for the first buyer ad, an automation for the second buyer ad, and an automation for the third. All 3 of those are different. So if you wanted to change the first email, you have to change the first email on all of those. So this one's the property listing is a buyer lead ad, and this buyer ad is a lead ad. So I need the ones that say lead ad in brackets. Now, the home value ad is different. So the home value ad, if you see, it says conversion in the brackets. Our conversion ad, every time you launch a conversion ad, it automatically goes to the same automation. So you can launch a conversion ad today, and if you had an automation already launched from that home value ad like 3 months ago, it's going to connect to that same automation. So the good news is you only ever have to edit that once. So you edit that once, every single time you launch a conversion ad, it's going to connect to that. We are working on 2 things. One, the ability to build out an automation and attach it when you launch an ad. So then that way, when you do a buyer's ad, it's not going to create 3 new ones. You can choose which one you want to attach it to. So if you have a buyer follow-up campaign, you'll just be able to go, here's the buyer follow-up campaign, follow this campaign when the lead comes in. So does that make sense, the difference between the 2? If you launch a lead ad, it produces multiple automations you have to fix. If you launch a value ad, it produces one, but you only ever have to edit one. So let's focus today on the seller's ad and that home value and start learning some things about it. There's a couple different ways to get your automations. I'm going to always encourage you to do it this way so you know you're always going to the right one. If you click ads in your account, it brings you to any of the ads that you have running. what I'm going to do is I'm in Linnea's account, who's done some awesome work here with Sarah, putting together her automations and everything like that. So we're just going to use that account. So I'm not going to go to her buyer's ads. I'm just going to go to one of her home value ads. So when I go to a home value ad, so let's just go to this one, for example. If it loads on me, my computer's slow, I probably got everything open. So anytime you click edit funnel, so what am I going to click? Edit funnel. Every time I click edit funnel, it brings me directly to the automations that are connected to that ad. Okay, so now I'm in the follow-up campaign for any lead that decides to come into this form. So as I'm going through, oh no, this is a different ad you used. I'm going to go back, Sarah. Wrong automation. Let me go back. That was the testing one. You guys signed up for the testing custom ad.
Yeah, you want to find the what's your home really worth or enter your address. Yeah.
She's just been testing tons of that. Do you know there's an archive button here where you can archive them?
I don't
This
think
button.
Linnea knew that. No, you can archive
Yeah,
them.
if you click archive, it'll get rid of this and clean this up for you. Okay, here we go. So now I'm going to go, this is one of the home value. No, that's a new listing.
No, keep going.
There it is.
That one there will have
There.
it.
Oh, look, Linnea's on.
Yeah.
There she
And
is.
I did know about the archive. I just haven't done anything with it yet. So
I've just been
Yeah.
too busy making videos for all of your automations.
pretty much, yeah.
So-
Just, yeah.
So now when I click edit, now any home value ad that you have running, it's a conversion ad, this is the same funnel. So you don't have to edit it multiple times. So you just edit this one, it changes all of them. So generally, like I always joke that this looks like Googly Bop at first. Let me explain to you what this means. This means between 8 o'clock in the morning and 2000 hours at night, if someone fills out that property form, and it's one of the forms on your ad that has their email address and stuff, then it's basically triggering these things to happen. So the first thing that happens is it adds a tag, and that tag is to become a seller. Why is that important? Well, if you, in your contacts, you can now organize based on sellers. You can see who came in as a seller. If you're pulling them into another source, you can tag them as a seller. That way you know the contact is coming in as a seller. And then basically this little actions and sequence, all that means is you'll see here, all of the emails are listed, but when I scroll down further, you're going to see all the text messages listed, and all the text messages are there. So it just means do these two things at the same time. So the first thing is trigger all these emails to go out over time to this lead. The second thing that we're telling it to do is they're saying, okay, once you trigger all that, if the person adds their phone number as well, trigger all these text messages to go out to these leads. So all your text messages are at the bottom, all your emails are at your top. Okay, how does that sound? Is everyone following?
Hey, Ira,
I'm gonna keep this, yeah.
just a quick question.
now.
What if the lead clicks on it after 8 p.m.? What happens?
Good question. So if they click on it after 8 p.m., the messaging will start going out the next morning at 8 a.m.
Okay.
So they won't get it until the clock turns around at 8 a.m. I have to double check. I actually had that question the other day in my head. I said, I was wondering if the email gets triggered. I'm going to look into the email, but the text message definitely won't go out. We don't want a text message going out in the middle of the night, right? So it's going to save that text message, and then the text messages will go out the next morning. Does that make sense?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, perfect. So then as we scroll down, like I said, I'm going to keep this pretty simple, our first couple calls, and then we'll jump into stuff more over time. And then I should record some of this so people could go back and look at it. But basically now this is saying send an email to you. So this is the email that you get that tells you got a lead. And then this email, send email after submission, quick question. This is the very first email they get. So this is the first one they get. Now notice there's no timing on it. So that means it's going to go out right away to that lead. So if I click on this email, this is the very first email Linnea's done here. So she's added her BombBomb video in here. Like think about, our generic email that's set up in here is just some generic text. Now I'm going to tell you this, follow up at the end of the day is everything. And Allison, you've seen her on some masterminds a couple months ago. She's edited nothing in here. She's edited absolutely not a thing. And she hasn't even updated her signature. Like her signature is the generic signature. She's also closed 8 or 9 StreetText deals. So even though she has all of this stuff going out, when a lead comes in, she personally follows up. She's personally on top of it. So sometimes we get ourselves doing really, really busy things, but we forget that it all comes down to follow-up. So don't make yourself feel like, oh, I'm doing this really well because I'm spending so much time on my automations. You don't want to spend so much time making fantastic, crazy over-the-top automations and not be doing the profiting part of this, which is following up personally with these leads when they come in. The automations are built to catch the gaps. They're built to, like Allison said, I know that if I went in and spent some more time on the automations, my 8 or 9 sales could probably double, but I already have enough business coming in the other way and I'm not ready to scale yet. So for her, it's doing the job for what she needs. But just remember, you can drive yourself crazy doing busy stuff and keeping yourself busy and miss the ball when it comes to follow-up. So don't also look at this and say, I need to do all of this to be successful. You don't. You need to follow up to be successful. You need to work with that lead, treat them like a human, find creative ways to touch base with them. But what are some things you notice right away about this email? Friendly, sunshine, backyard. It's a video. It's not a generic email. So it's a quick 37-second video. How many of you people, when you're on social media, my mom is the worst for sending me videos. She sends me like 400 videos a day. And sometimes I'll click on them and it says they're 1 hour and 7 minutes. I'm like, Mom, like I got 4 kids. Like, what do you think I'm doing? Watch 1 hour and 7 minutes worth of videos? Sometimes even like a 7-minute video. I'm like, 7 minutes? Like that's eternity. So like, keep this short and sweet. You haven't earned any sort of trust with this person. They don't know you. It's just a quick little hello. It's friendly, but it interrupts the fact that, hey, there's a video and a moving person talking to me in my email. I have a chance to make a reputation or make some sort of impression here. And then is everyone on here updated their email signature? Does everyone know how to update your email signature?
Can you go over that at some point? Because yes, I've done the, I've gone through the steps, but it's still not doing it because it's an image.
Okay. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll send you a link. Like I'll show you quickly before we end here. I'll show you. Remind me to, okay, Christina?
Okay, thanks.
Okay, so that's the first email. Now, what do you notice? The next email is delayed for 4 days. So the next email doesn't go out, and these are what we call sequential. So they're based on the last send. So this one goes out 4 days after the previous one. This one goes out 3 days after the previous one. So it's actually on day 7 they're receiving this email, and vice versa. So what I've seen people do is they've accidentally like added a new email in here, not realizing they pushed the whole timeline for the whole sequence when they do that. So if you add and you decide you're going to add an email between these ones, just know you're going to have to work with your sequencing on your timing. So you don't want to add one in here. These are all sequenced. So this day 4 email goes out, and what's the assumption and when the day 4 email goes out? The assumption is that the first email asked about their home value. You've sent them something now of personal value outside of the automations. You've reached out to them, you've sent to something, and you've given yourself a 4-day window to respond to that lead. So now they get this follow-up email. And what's the benefit of that? You're busy. So you don't want to have to follow up with the fact that you sent a home value out. Let this do the job for you. So in this, she's like, Linnea's done a great job here in basically explaining to them, because what if they got your value? Maybe you did it with RPR report. Maybe you did some comparables in the area. They saw it and they were like, the hell, my home's worth more than that. Well, this person doesn't even know what they're talking about. You're crazy, you're stupid. Like, I'm not going to talk to you. And then they get this email, and people love to give feedback. So people like to tell you, what the hell? Like, even if you polarized them and made them upset, just know that you probably generated a conversation. Because if you appeased me, I might be like, that's awesome, and not talk to you. But if you upset me, you might get me going, what the hell? So don't concern yourself valuing that home too much because it could just generate a conversation. And then Linnea is covering her butt here because she's coming in and she's saying, hey, this is how I came to that value that I sent you. Just so you know, it could be totally inaccurate. Like it could be off, it could not be working. So just our generic one just basically asks if they receive it and what they thought, but go in and put your personality in here, add a video to it. Now, at the end of the day, does anybody here like being sold? Like, I've worked in sales for a very long time. I'm the worst person to try to sell. Like, I go to a car dealership, do you need any help? No, come hell or high water. It's just our automatic response. Well, meanwhile, yeah, I do need help. I'm shopping for a car, but I'm going to tell you no until I absolutely need you. So like, how do you get beyond that language? Go into day 7 here. I love this, what Linnea has done, because she's showing her personality. So she didn't follow up with a, this is how you sell your home, this is how you don't. So she's actually edited this. It's not our system. She's put her own in here, and she's highlighting a coffee shop that is like an awesome local coffee shop. She's doing a 1-minute tour. Do you know that's the first thing I do? Like in the office here in Kelowna, we have a bunch of people like joined our team here, Brandon and Eric, that are from out of town. The first thing that you do when somebody's new into your town is, what do? You tell them all the spots that are awesome in town. You're like, you need to go here for coffee, like me, Mad Mango, it's right out here at the door, best chicken curry you'll have in town. Like, start befriending this person. So she's gone in and she's doing something of value to them. But what I love here is this value ask at the bottom. If you are a small business owner or you know a small business owner, I'd love to highlight your business and spread the love. Like in a time where small businesses have been impacted tremendously by this whole COVID thing, how do you show up for your community in a way that shows that I really care more than in real estate? I care for my community. Like my favorite coffee shop down here is GeoBean. I'd be doing the same thing for GeoBean. I've introduced everybody. I have friends that get coffee being shipped from here to like Ontario because they love the coffee so much when they came and visited. So it's like she does, and look, again, it's 59 seconds. The average attention span of the human being, does anybody know what it is right now? It's below a goldfish. It's 7 to 8 seconds. A goldfish has about an 8 to 9 second attention span. The human being has a 7 to 8 second attention span. So like I open this email, coffee, who doesn't like coffee? Not many people. It's a 59-second video. And if I don't know this coffee shop and I'm like, hey, I've seen that, and I go in and get a coffee, guess who I'm remembering every time I drive by this coffee shop right now? Because Linnea introduced it to me. That I'm remembering you, I remember this community, and like it's those little triggers. It wasn't just about, you know, your home value. So I love that ad there. And then on day, so as you can see, these are sequential. So you're noticing every time I click on an email, I can edit it right here. Once I edit it, I just make sure I save the email. And then I always say, send a test to yourself, because I've seen this happen before. In this top right-hand corner, you can send a test. It's not letting me get to it.
Ara, can I interrupt you for 1 second?
Yeah.
Any ads we make then, if we do those kind of things that she made, any ads we make from here on in, they're always going to have those things in them. Am I right?
If it's the home value conversion ad.
Yes.
It's a home value conversion ad. This automation will connect to it every single time.
So the video we make through BombBomb will always be there.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah. So you just have to work on building this all once. Sarah and Linnea, like how long did this take you guys to put this together?
Well, it was 4 hours of just kind of building out what we wanted it to look like. And I think it took Linnea several hours a day for a couple of weeks to actually record the videos and set it all up. That's what I heard.
No,
Oh.
yes, and yes, and
Thank you.
The 4 hours to map it out was like 2 people brainstorming, and then the making of the video. Some of the videos I had made already, so they were just already in my marketing arsenal. But then like literally the BombBomb video took me 37 seconds to make. Like I just did one cut. I was like, who cares? I didn't edit it or anything. Yeah. And then to plug it in was probably about 4 hours just to plug it all in. And I just did it over a period of a couple days. So really, and so
it's done. it's all there. And now everyone's going to get that value from Linnea for the next year. Like it's built, it's already there. You don't have to keep building it. That's the key, is like set aside the time to plan what you want to do, get it done all in one weekend. Like Wendy's talked about, she's recorded herself in different clothes all on the same day and done all of her videos in one shot. So she's just got it done. Look like she's somewhere different. And then you can play with it. Christmas is coming up. Take your first video and film it like Wendy did in front of her Christmas tree. Like film it out during a festive. So they are like, hey, this person's on it. Like there's nothing worse than like stale advertising. That's why we say if your ad's been sitting forever on Facebook and has a ton of comments in it, you need to clean that out. Because if you're nowhere to be seen, people just assume that the ad is abandoned. They don't like not current things. So even if you every once in a while go in and make some of the seasonal, it makes them think like this person's on the ball. Like they might even think, I've had people respond thinking that I've done something just that day for them. Sorry that you went to the trouble to film this recording. And it's like, no, actually, this is just in my automations. I've done it once. That's how you want people to feel though when they look at your automations. So the other thing that Linnea just said there is any content that you make, remember your time is your most valuable asset. You recreate and reuse that content. So if you have like assets that you've already built and you've already made, if you've done some videos in the past, you can upload those recordings to BombBomb. There's a way to do that if Linnea had it up on there. But also here's the top 12 tips. So what Linnea did was that 12 tips ad that we've already built the PDF for you. I'm assuming that you did brand it. Did you guys brand it, Sarah?
I believe so, but
Yeah,
Linnea.
it's branded.
Yeah. She's busy in her closet. I don't want her to keep hitting it unmute. But
Yeah, I'm packing. Sorry.
multitasking. So like you can brand that, and Troy's done a video in our StreetText Insider group, but that's a PDF that comes from the 12 tips ad that's kind of already built out for you. So all Linnea has done is taken that email and she's put it into this sequence to add as another thing in her funnel. So now she has this 12 tips going out in this little PDF in it. So this is basically just putting personality, at least like make a goal for yourself on the first 10 days. What do you want the first 10 days of your leads to see? And then you can go and like Linnea's gone further than 12 days. Like she's gone into some of these other ones and added videos that she has, so that every time they get a message from her, they're getting something a little bit more out of the box, a little bit more personality, a little bit more her. So I'll stop there for a second. Oh, I see chats, but I'm not. Yeah, someone says, Kelly, does it do Loom? I've heard a lot of people talking about Loom, like a $10 version of Loom having all the same functionality of BombBomb. I'm not 100% sure, but I have heard, like I saw some conversations in there as well. And Brandon messaged me saying, yes, all emails and texts do stop. So that timeline is true to emails. I wasn't sure on emails. The next morning, if they came in at 10 o'clock at night, they're not going to get the email from you until 8 o'clock the next morning and a text message, because they're past this window that's at the top. Does that make sense? Anybody else want me to stop? Anybody else have a question beyond that? Don't be shy. If you've done anything that you love and you want to share.
No, I mean, what I'm seeing here, Ira, is great. What the ladies did is phenomenal. I never even thought about going through the first automation. I mean, I seriously, before this meeting, I didn't even know I could go down and make more BombBomb videos. I had no clue, you know.
Well, now you know.
Now I know, and now I know what I have to do. But I'll be honest. I mean, I've been in this business for a long time, but I didn't know about this, you know.
Yeah, for sure.
And I will say it, Ira, you weren't on. I picked up a client last week from one of my ads, and it happened way too fast. But I picked him up. But I wish I knew about this automation so I could implement it. Now I will, you know.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, the ladies did a great job. Kudos. Excuse me.
And we added this class just to help people more with the automation ends of things. So we'll keep meeting and keep going over this. and keep growing. Christina,
autom-
you have a question? Oh,
I
sorry.
do. Go ahead, Tony.
No, go ahead, Christina, by all means.
Thank you. Okay, so you said on the first email is written, right? It's scripted, already written. The second email
Yeah.
was written. How many of those are written in the seller funnel by StreetText?
So StreetText has, like, we have a day one email after submission, quick question.
Okay,
We have the day 4 email. All that Linnea has done is gone in and put her video in and changed it to her wording, but the videos are already set. It's everything set up in there. We don't have this one. So I'm trying to remember, maybe Brandon, you remember, I think day 7 or day 10, there's something about the overpricing your home, like the dangers of overpricing your home. So the timeline here is a little bit, but if you just click in your account right now, go to your home value add and click edit funnel, you'll see what's already built into your account.
I was going to also mention in that very first email that goes out to the client, if you have a bomb video in there, I would highly recommend putting on like a 5-minute delay, just so it actually looks like you even put that video in there and it's actually like from that moment. But that's just a thought. So you can easily change those time delays too. So you can see
So what
that
he's
first
talking
one
about
right there. Yeah.
Yeah. So this one goes out right away. So like they on Facebook, they put their name in, it goes out, it picks up on our system and ding, they get an email. So what he's saying is even if you go in here and just add a timeline to it, so you can go and add like how long you want the timer to be on this one, and you just want to delay it by like 5 minutes. So it looks like you might have recorded it, because some people, what they've done is they've recorded that in their car on their phone. So they'll be like, hey, I just got your home value. So it makes it look like, hey, I was on the run and I sent this to you. Because know what we are as human, we are completely like, we feel the need to like oblige. Like, oh my God, this guy went out of his way. I clicked on his ad and there he is in his car. And like, I didn't realize he was going to be a real person helping me. So now the next time you message me, because I feel like you sent that personally to me, I almost feel obligated to respond to you. I always joke because people that live in more like country areas, that it's more pleasant trees to talk to people. I find that those markets get more responses to their ads. The closer you live to a city, the busier I am, and the more I don't talk to you unless I have to talk to you. Like I moved from a small town from Toronto, and in Toronto, Ontario, like everybody's in a hurry. We're commuting 2 hours. I don't have time to talk to anybody. And then I moved here and people started to do small talk and in restaurant places. So you'll find that when you're in your city, people aren't going to talk to you as much. When you're in a rural area, they're going to message you and respond a little bit more than they would normally. But if you make them feel a little bit obligated, like you went out of your way to do this, they might be more obliged to respond to your next message. Does that make sense?
There was this video that Alicia Baruti, we did a webinar a little while back with BombBomb, and Alicia Baruti shared this example of one of the clients that uses BombBomb, and it's an agent with his kid on the back on a bike, and he's just like, hey, this is Rob at XYZ Realty, just wanted to send you a quick message. I'm just out on the bike with my son at this moment, but once I get back into the office, I'll be getting to you about your home value. It just looks like he's out in the day, right? So what I'm going to do is I'll attach that link here in the comments, and you guys can check out that webinar. I definitely would recommend it.
Yeah, if you want more info on BombBomb videos and stuff, definitely check that one out. But let's just quickly get to the text messages. Oh, Christina, did I answer your question? Do you feel like you know what's in there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Thanks.
So these text messages or the emails go out for 9 months. So Allison, remember I told you the Allison who's done lots of deals, she tends to get like, she says, I don't know how much you guys have changed yours in here, Sarah, so I don't know how much they go out, but our system has 9 months worth of emails. It does a lot in the first 30 days. And then there's just a couple that drip through the months after that. And then one of the last emails is like, hey, this will be my last email. Like people tend to get responses to that email because they're like, oh, it's your last email. Like I've been reading everything. I've been here. I just haven't been ready. But just as a thought pattern, like as Brandon was saying on our webinar the other day, the assess phase for purchasing a home is much longer than our regular purchases. So I think 9 months is too short. So in order, like once they drop off this, like once the lead comes past 9 months, if you're not personally reaching out to that lead beyond that, they're getting nothing else from you. So I would suggest going in here and clicking add action and put a couple more emails. So this drip lasts longer than 9 months. So it goes to 12 months or goes to 14 months. Just add some more emails at the bottom of this. And when you add an email, it's as simple as clicking add action. It says add an email. I click select. And then I'm gonna just click this. You can click if you've pre-written the email, you can actually find the email here, or you can actually choose to write a brand new email here. But you can, that's how you add the email. Once you click add event, I'm not gonna mess up all of Linnea's work here. Once you add event, it's gonna come on as being off, so it won't be on yet, the email. You can then add the time that you want the email to go at, like if it's 3 days after the last email there, or 30 days after the last email there, and then turn it on. Does that make sense? So adding extra time at the end so that you can keep dripping on that lead. Because like, to me, I get more excited about old leads than I do new ones. With social media, you should be more excited about the people that came in your funnel 6 months ago. Because 6 months ago, it was Christmas and a lot changed since Christmas, maybe for me. I know 6 months ago wasn't Christmas, I'm just using an example. But being able to like come back and like revisit the conversation, and now I'm actually closer to the transaction. Now it's like, it's time. My kids just finished school. I'm thinking about moving. I'm downsizing so I can go buy something fun to do. Just thinking ahead here. Tony.
Ira, okay, I understand what you're saying about adding and so on, but once you have them there after 8-9 months, and if you're using something like BombBomb, at that point, can't you just transfer them to BombBomb, where you can send them something every 2 weeks?
BombBomb isn't a CRM from what I know. BombBomb's a tool, so you can't drip on them in there.
Yes, you can. If you add them into your prompt campaign, you have your prompt campaign and you add them in there. Isn't that basically the same thing as using StreetText after 9 months? I mean, I put a lot of them into my prompt campaign.
Yeah.
So if I can just add, you can see on that one that you're on, it says move to MM, that's our CRM. And then we put them on a 1-year seller drip campaign. So like Linnea was saying, we're sending them to our CRM.
So you can switch it then from StreetText to that.
Yeah. So see what this is, add tag. So what they're saying is now that we've done 9 months worth of email to this person, add the tag, move to MMM. So now in that, when they get tagged, this lead now goes over there, and that tag is what shows that system what drip to put them on over there.
Okay.
So all I'm saying is here is have a strategy to keep following up with those leads past 9 months. Because right now, the StreetText drip ends at 9 months. So don't just let that person fall off. Like, unless you're personally following up with them, like how many good conversations do you have 6 months ago and you forget about? You wake up one night, you're like, oh, I wonder what happened to that appointment I had. That seemed promising, but life got busy and I missed it. So have a strategy to follow up until like they say yes or they die. Like that's what people say. Like just keep following up until they say yes, no, or die. Like at the end of it, the day, just keep being there for people. This is no skin off your back. It's automated, it's built, it's happening. You'd be surprised, like you get a response from somebody and you had no idea they were even in your funnel. So just keep the train rolling there. So then the next thing that we jump down into is text messages. So if you've been wondering, like, where do those Julie text messages come from? So after all of the email drips, if you scroll down here, you'll say, it's basically saying they fill out the last form. Now the form is the last landing page that asks for their email or their name and their phone number. So because they've now added their phone number, we're telling the system to start sending them Julie text messages. And you guys haven't even touched these ones yet.
Not so much. I usually send them personalized text with emojis and stuff from my phone because you can't put emojis in there and then it looks really
Yes, you
automated.
can.
Oh, I
You can
haven't
put
found it.
emojis.
Okay, it's like
So,
I haven't seen that.
so one thing we suggest, if you click on this right here,
Mhm.
phones are getting really good at detecting like automated text messaging. So a lot of times this first text message doesn't go through. So it's one, having a strategy to help maybe that first text message go through, but two, making sure your second text message has context or something, just in case the first one doesn't go through. So this first one, if you just click on it, one thing that you could do right away is you can take out this autofill because we know who this is.
Mhm.
So, you know, I work with, and this is where you could actually put Linnea's name in here as opposed to like it pulling it from the system. Does that make sense?
Yeah, yeah.
And then when was the last time you texted your friend, i.e. updates? Not a lot. It's trying to look for like what's a natural text look like. So I know Wendy's gone in here and she said, I see your interest in your home value. That's awesome. Can't wait to get that out to you. And she just made the language look more real, like it would be coming from a friend. Now, how do I put emojis in?
Yeah.
There's a website called Emojipedia. So if you go
Okay.
to Emojipedia and you copy the emoji from there. So if I go to emojipedia.org, I can find like a happy face and I can just copy the emoji from here. And I could just paste that emoji. So I just copy it
Uh-huh.
and I can paste it into the text here.
Okay, gotcha.
So now you can put emojis in. There's an emoji.
So I did do that for some of the buyer automations because I'm working on those right now. And
Awesome.
yeah, I've seen that they have gone out right away because of that. So just changing it makes a big difference.
Perfect. Yeah, so that's going to increase deliverability if you just make it look like it's a text I sent from my friend. Like they're really trying to guess, like, what does this look like? Does this look like an ad or does this look like a text from somebody they actually want to hear from? So then the next text message goes out 11 minutes later. And oftentimes people will get just this text. Just let me know if I can help. It's not that bad, right, Sarah? Because what happens is people respond to that.
Yeah, and then you can start a conversation.
Exactly. It's all about starting a conversation. So sometimes the first one doesn't send, and then the second one goes out, and it's just let me know if I can help. And the person goes, help with what? Who are you?
Exactly.
Yeah, Christina?
Ira, how do you know if the text message was delivered or not?
Good question. I'll show you that in one moment. So then you can just see these next text messages are off, which I agree. Like the scripts on these, we need to go back in and change them. I originally was the one who rewrote what they used to be because when COVID hit, they sounded really insensitive at the beginning of COVID because they were like, I can come over to your house tomorrow. And they're like, are you not aware that like there's something going on? So we changed them a while back, but these are turned off right now. So Linnea just has these two going out to see if you can initially get the conversation started, but you can go. So that's kind of the next part of this. You can work on all these automations and everything. Let's make sure people are getting them. That's a big important part of this. So text messages, when you click on conversations and it loads, oh, there's chat. Sorry if you're chatting to me and can you email link to record? Okay, Kelly, yeah. So when you see how this is highlighted right here in the top left, it's yellow. Now on my screen just went like half over and I can't access, I have two screens and my Zoom controls are half on the other screen and half on this screen and I can't move it back. So you might be stuck with me all day. I'm not gonna be able to get off this call.
Let's get it.
So you can see that Marcus has been, sorry, yeah. Marcus has been using this. Yeah, it's the end of the day. So Marcus has been using and testing this out like crazy. So you can see Marcus came in as a lead and you can see how it's yellow. that means he got this text message. Hi, Marcus, this is Julie, just checking to see you got a list of 12 tips for email. Larry got this. Hey, it's Linnea. These are all buyer's ads. So I'll go through there. See the red one? See this red? That means it wasn't delivered. But look, this one was delivered. So for whatever reason, this one was flagged. This one wasn't flagged. This one was flagged. So sometimes some will go through and some won't. And that just has to do with spam carriers. But this one both went through.
I was going to also mention, if you ever notice all of them are red, it's very possible it could be a landline as well. So check on that too.
Yeah.
It'd be nice if we
Landline,
had a
what's
little,
those?
a little way to check, like a box that says landline. Just saying.
Yeah, I don't know if we can tell. I can ask our dev team whether they can tell if it's a landline or not.
Well, I mean,
But-
just for
so
myself,
don't-
because I figure it out when I'm calling, but that's just me.
Yeah, that's always send your suggestions. We're always looking to improve things. So that's text messages. Now emails, click on settings. So see this little settings tab over here on the top right? If you click here, and then you click all emails, this is where all the kind of email, this is where if you want to write an email that you're going to use later, you can write the email here and then attach it to an automation later. So this is like basically a copy of all the emails you're sending. So I'm just going to scroll down and go to this. So here's the very first email. After submission, quick question. You can see 173 people have gone in. 39, so if you go to the top, it shows you what this is. 39% of the people have opened it. And then the one beside it is if they've clicked on things, what they've clicked on. So let me find that one again, sorry. Making me dizzy as I scroll around here. Look away while I scroll. I went right past it. Where'd it go? Where'd it go? Where'd it go? There it is. So after submission, quick question, that's the email. Now, if you scroll under this and you click records, you're going to see it shows you a timeline of what's happened here. So Marcus, who's testing this out, are you getting crazy? Follow up with Marcus, you're doing it. So it says that it was delivered. He didn't open it. He didn't click on it. Didn't open it. Didn't click on it. So this lead right here, it was delivered. They didn't open it. This lead right here was delivered. They opened it. They clicked on it. They watched the video. So this is giving you a rundown of what's happening here in terms of whether they're opening it. And this is where you've heard us talk about on masterminds. You can make little snippets of this email. So I could rewrite this email in my Gmail account. And then when I see that someone got delivered the email and they didn't open it, I can go to my Gmail. I could resend them the email and resend it like, hey, it looks like you missed this email the first time. Now they get it a second time in their box and they're going to open it this time. So this is where you can, especially in those first window when you first meet them, like people just miss emails. I get hundreds of emails and they usually use their junk email to go here. But if there are emails that catch me every once in a while, like, hey, I think you missed this. And I'm like, oh, what's that? And I click on it. So it's really about, go through and make sure this first one gets delivered at least. So has anybody been using these records in here? Did you know they were here? Do you know they're here now?
Yeah, we knew that they were there. We're working on our process to follow up with those people. But yeah, we Marcus has been, as you know, Marcus is testing my things a lot. So he's sending me a lot of like things I need to be doing. That's one of them.
Yeah. So the cool thing though too is, and that's exactly what you should be doing. Like everyone here, and here's a good way to maybe get in the sphere of your friends. Like, like instead of putting on Facebook, hey, remember I'm a real estate agent. Like if you're going to be listing your home, I know somebody who might want to do that for you. Instead of doing that, do it in a roundabout way. Hey friends, I just need your help just testing something out. Could you really do me a favor here? Here's my landing page for my website. And I've spent a lot of time putting stuff together. Could you just put your info in and tell me what you think? Like, tell me if you get value out of it, if I can change anything. And you're inadvertently doing two things. You're one, reminding them you're a real estate agent, but two, you're getting someone to look at your content and ask them for feedback. Now you have an excuse to follow up with them later. Go to them and say, hey, have you been getting my updates and my emails? Like, what do you think? I really value your feedback. Like, it'd be really nice to know. If it does it look authentic? I've spent a lot of time on it. And people love giving their opinion. Like, people love being able to help out that way. So how do you do that? Just send them your landing page. Don't send them your ad, because you don't want them to click on the ad that way, but just go to your ads and just copy, like click view page. So here you have to go to the proper ad, like the value ad, and just send them your landing page. I gotta find the right one. Does everyone know what I'm talking about? Or no?
No.
No, I'll show you. So right here, enter your address, receive your value. So click view link, and then just copy this link and send them that link. So they're gonna land here and they could go through. Now they're gonna go through your funnel. Now you should also go through your own funnel. Like, put yourself through here and then walk through it as the lead. How do they feel? Like, click on everything. Do you know what I once discovered with somebody? They had like a month or so worth of leads. They had somehow erased the link on top of their BombBomb video. So they were sending out their first email and the link in the BombBomb video wasn't working. So when people clicked on it, it was just a picture. It was just a GIF. It wasn't actually the video. So just test it, like send it to yourself, put yourself through your own funnel, and then go from there. But at the end of the day, I'm trying not to throw too much information at you because simpler is more important. Anything else I can cover right now before we wrap things up? Christina.
One quick question. When I test it, I send it to myself, and in the email, I'll see a big yellow bar that says, click here if you think it's safe.
Yeah, warning, yeah.
Right. How do I get rid of that?
You don't need to get rid of that. That's just because it's detecting that you're sending an email to you. It's like, something is suspicious about this, be careful. That's not going to happen to your leads. That's just because it's detecting you're like the loop. Like, they're like, this is you and you, like something's weird here. Okay. So yeah, that won't appear for your leads.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great.
Two other things that you can note. One, there's a website called Mailtester.com. So Mailtester, you can test out. Oh no, that's not it. That's not the right one. What is it? Mail-tester. Yeah. So this one, you can test out your spam score. You can test out what you're sending, so you can see whether your emails are being marked frequently as spam. So mail-tester.com is one website you can do that with. And then if you haven't caught this already, I'm just going to say it because it sometimes slips through. I hope nobody's using Yahoo email, AOL, MSN. Like, all of those old email handles have been hacked many times over, and they notoriously land in people's junk folders. So you don't want to be using a Yahoo, AOL, or any of those abbreviations because they land in people's junk folders. You just want to, the thing is we want an email delivered, we want an email opened, we want an email clicked on. And industry standard, like, a lot of people get upset when they see 30%. That's industry standard for email type marketing. The industry standards around 30 to 40% open rate. So if you have a higher than 30 to 40% open rate on your emails, that's great. That's good news. You can always work to improve it, but just to give you a reference point when you're looking at numbers. So content we covered today, has it been helpful?
Very.
Yeah. I'm trying to figure out how to not be repetitive, but also catch new people when they come into these to go over these basics. So the first couple ones, and it might be good to come back and repeat it. I'm going to record the first couple ones with some of the real basic stuff into it. And then over time with this class, what we'll do is we'll We'll kind of have breakout topics where we dive in a little bit deeper into like what's being put in there and stuff like that. But I want to make sure we cover the basics really well first, because you need to master the simplistic first. You just need to get the simple things. So what's your takeaway? Teresa, did you have a question? Looks like you're unmuted.
Yeah, I just wanted to point out with regards to the phone number, somebody asking whether they were landlines or their cell phones. I found this website. It is called phonevalidator.com. And you can go in and put the number.
Phonevalidator.com.
Yep, and you can go in and put the phone number in and it'll tell you if it's a landline. If you get the red mark, sometimes people put bogus phone numbers in, but I just check and see if it's a landline and then I'll just call it anyways. But just a little thing I found.
That's cool. Thank you.
No problem.
All the little tidbits we pick up from each other. We're better together. And then what was the other thing I was going to say? There was one more thing I was going to, because Christina, you wanted to see email signature. It's actually pretty easy. So are you still here, Christina?
Yeah, I am, but it's an image. And
Yeah.
I've tried it.
So
Go ahead.
I'll show you how to do it, and then you can say whether you're doing it this way or not. So
Okay.
you click on the little settings button, and I'm just moving quickly now because I have a call coming up in 2 minutes. So click on the settings button, and then you scroll down and you click assets. So this is where you upload all your images. Once you do that, you have to find the file of the image on your computer. So click upload and click choose file, find the file and upload it. Once you've uploaded it, it's going to give you this little source code here. You're going to copy the source code. And then you're going to go back to settings. You're now going to go to email signatures. You're going to click edit. And you're going to click insert. And you're going to click image. And you're going to paste that code right here. Oops. So this is probably going to be an ad image. Yeah. So you paste that here, and then you can resize this. And then I've had people go, it's not working, but they forgot to click the save button.
Beautiful.
So just make sure you save it.
Okay, so yes, that's every step that I've done. I think it might be too big and I didn't know that I could resize it right then and there. So I'll try that.
Okay. Is it coming in really big? It's still,
No,
because I've had somebody.
well, it's coming up, taking up the whole box here.
Okay, yeah. So you can pull it and resize it to make it smaller.
Very good, thank you.
Or you can go to canva.com and just do a little thing on Canva and download a smaller version of it.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Okay, well, it's been a pleasure spending, whether it's evening for you or not, it's been a pleasure spending some time with y'all here. Feel free to come back. Like I said, I'm gonna keep the first couple lessons like pretty basic, going over some basics. So sometimes it helps to repeat stuff. But I also wanna make sure that, you know, a lot of you, it seems like you had some ahas when we kept it really basic. So, and that being said, I understand that some people's basic is other people's, like, it might feel complex to you. So don't get caught up in that. Someone has always said to me, like, overwhelm was a choice. Just choose not to be overwhelmed. Just choose to get at this and learn it. You'll be surprised at where you could be a year from now, even a month from now, even a week from now. Okay. So let me know what you did. Go in and let me know if you got things done this week. And if you come next week, don't come without having done at least one thing. I'm just joking, kind of, but not really, because I want you to succeed.
Thanks, Ira. Thank you, everybody.
Thanks, Ira.
No problem. You guys enjoy your day.
You too, bye-bye.
You as well. Bye-bye now.
Thanks,
you.
Linnea, for letting us peek at your automations there. You've done awesome work.
Thank you. Thank you.
And are you building your buyer's campaign out in StreetText, or are you building it out in your other CRM?
I have one built out of my CRM already. I'm working on StreetText. I actually do kind of a little different follow-up for both of them. So,
Okay.
so I do have one that's built out in my, like I said, my CRM, but I'm kind of updating it for StreetText.
Okay. So I was just going to say, because it's going to be hard for you to change it every time you launch a new buyer's ad in StreetText. So it's almost better to keep it in your CRM but we will have some functionality here very soon for you to be able to do it all here and be able to attach it every time you launch a buyer's ad.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay.
All right.
Good
Thank
to
you.
chat with all of you. We'll see y'all later. Bye bye.